Story 1. My boyfriend cheated on me with our co-worker. I, 23F, have been with my boyfriend Tom, 30M, for over almost 5 years. He is my first serious relationship, so I did have to learn a lot about being in one, especially after moving in with him. Our big thing is communication between each other, since that was something I was not quite used to, but something I definitely have gotten better at. I say this to explain we frequently talk to each other if something is bothering us, or at least I thought. One weekend in November, I see him come out of the shower with his manhood shaven. Mind you, he has not done that since before I even moved in with him in 2019, and we were not doing anything special that weekend. When I asked him about it, he gaslighted me into thinking why couldn't he do so. Afterwards, he announces he is leaving to watch Wakanda Forever with other co-workers. I did not protest since I was actually going to start training the following Monday for the same company as him, so lying wouldn't really uphold. Either way, he left at 6 p.m. and came back at 2 a.m. I was half asleep, so I waited until the morning to ask him about it. He told me all the seats for the movie were sold out, so they all went to bar hopping. I found it very odd because bar hopping with co-workers for 7 hours in this small shitty town does not sound feasible, lol. Usually, I don't mind if he goes out, but I just kept getting a really bad feeling. A few days afterwards, we have a few drinks and he passes out. That night was my first time looking through his messages, through his Apple Watch, since I didn't feel comfortable getting his phone. That's where I see the messages between him and a co-worker, Ash, 25F, talking about not wanting me to know and that they should stay as friends. I read through everything, seeing they have been flirting for a while, so I know it wasn't just some drunken mistake. I took pictures and proceeded a whole month not saying anything, taking more pictures of any more messages. I also had talked to my sister about it and planned to move out. I was losing my mind, so I ended up snapping one day in December. He began to have an argument with me about dinner when he came from work one day, so I let it out. He had the audacity to gaslight me until I mentioned I was going to move out. Never seen a man go 180 so fast. 1 minute he was gaslighting me about the messages and next sobbing with tears, apologizing. It was an exhausting ordeal, but I ended up agreeing to stay to get through this. My main reason was because I was scared for his well-being, since I had never seen him be so unstable mentally. That night, he communicated a lot, more than he ever had in the past 5 years. A small part of me thought maybe he would change after that night, or maybe I was only hopeful so I could continue on. I ended up quitting that job because Ash was basically the only one that could assist me daily. I am not a mean person, but I didn't want to act all friendly to a woman who was cheating on her husband, who is temporarily studying in another country with their 2 daughters. I was training online, but I would have to see her in the office since I had a hybrid position. I left before my first day in office because I was not sure how I would react and was not a fan of workplace drama. I have been job searching and working on my mental health since. Tom knows I don't have the same trust anymore, so he said I could go through his phone. I don't, since that is not the type of relationship I want, but I ended up caving in this week after a bad mental breakdown. Instead, I went through his old phone, that still had his social media accounts logged in. I figured since he may be deleting messages that I should check the medias instead. There I find him flirting with an ex of his, who lives in another country. I had already talked to him about my boundary with the type of flirting he does, and he crossed it still. I confronted him with what I saw and said I was done since he was already in thin ice. I let him know I was out by the end of Feb, but I don't think he thinks I'm serious. It's been a few days, but I have stopped showing the same affection like I used to and only focusing on myself. I have refrained from checking anything anymore, since I had already seen a lot more than what I have mentioned in the post. I don't want to give in any more energy into something not worth it anymore. Only thing now is that I am scared to message Ash's husband because I know this could change the lives of those 2 girls forever. I know it is not my fault that Ash did that, what she did with Tom, just something I need to vent to clear my head a little. Story 2. Boyfriend cheated and got another girl pregnant. I still love him. I have no clue what to do. I've been with my boyfriend, Daniel, for almost 3 years now. He is the only man I've ever loved, and we have talked marriage and kids. I'm 22 and he is 29. He has been married before but lost his wife in an accident 5 years ago. He has 1 son, Christopher, who is almost 7. I've been like a mother to him and I love him so much. Our relationship has been pretty much perfect until I had an option to go abroad for 6 months for school/internship. It was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, so I decided to go. I knew long distance would be really tough, but I thought if anyone could do it, it would be us. I was faithful to Daniel the entire time I was gone. He was not. He started seeing the younger sister of one of his friends on the down low. This girl is 19 and not even in school. She knows me and she knew about our relationship but still hooked up with Daniel. He claims they got drunk together and it just happened, and then he was lonely and saw her for 2 more months on and off. While all this time Skyping me every night and saying he loved me and missed me. I came home on June 2nd and we went through the normal reunion things. Lots and lots of says and spending time together. Yesterday evening he tells me he has to tell me something and that he is so sorry. He tells me that this girl is pregnant and it probably is his baby. She is 10 weeks along and not going to have an abortion. He wants to stay together and he promised me he won't ever talk to the other girl except for baby-related things. He is promising me nothing will ever happen again and he will spend the rest of his life making it up to me. I feel so stupid to even think about staying with him. I love this boy so much and I do feel like he made a mistake. It's so hard though. I feel jealous that he is going to have 2 kids with 2 other women than me. I can't imagine being away from his son too. If we broke up I probably wouldn't see him anymore and that would be so hard. For me and him. Daniel wants us to try for a baby but it's clearly nuts to even consider that. Is there any way this works out or should we break up? Story 3. My 26F boyfriend, 30M, cheated and blamed it on me going out of town for Mother's Day. He wants to work it out. My boyfriend has issues with Mother's Day and lost both of his mother figures. His bio mom abandoned him and his aunt that raised him passed away a few years ago. I went to go visit my own mom for Mother's Day and let him know it would happen ahead of time, asked if he wanted to come with, etc., but he doesn't like flying and didn't want to request any days off work. I didn't have a lot of time to talk to him since cooking for Mother's Day is my duty and I was fixing my mom's garage door and laying some tile for her. He knew that and I sent him photos, etc. I came back to our apartment a few hours early after doing a flight change and he hadn't been home or cleaned since I'd been gone. I started tidying and found 2 women's rings that are definitely not mine. I also found blonde hair in the shower stuck to the wall. I'm a black woman, so again not me. When he got home he seemed surprised and I just tossed the rings on the ground in front of him and didn't say anything. He acted stupid at first and then started crying and blamed it on me leaving him alone when I know what happened to his family. Our lease doesn't end for at least another 3 months. He says nothing physical happened and had the woman text me. She said she made a move on him and she saw him getting hard but that he started crying and asked her to leave. I'm not sure what to do. One hand, I'm like duck this, I can't even go help my mom for a few days without him acting out. Other hand, what he went through with his moms was horrible and I can see it bringing up issues when alone. Neither of us know anyone else in the area so we can't even go stay somewhere else. I'm not even mad, I'm just annoyed. What steps should I take to talk to him about this? I'm not staying with him, but I have no place to go for at least 3 more months and if I try to break up with him now he's going to make a big deal out of it and throw off my studies for the next 3 months which I can't risk. Story 4. My boyfriend cheated on me with his best friend. He says he was drunk and confused. Should I forgive him? Reddit. Throw away because I don't want my internet friends to see the details of this. I'm a 21-year-old girl in college, and I've been dating this guy for about 6 months now. For the most part, it's been a fantastic relationship. We barely ever fight and he's a genuine and really nice guy. My only complaint for the past few months was his dirtbag of a best friend, also a guy. He's been the bane of my existence since we first started dating. They're really close. In my opinion, weirdly close. When I started casually seeing my BF, his friend would constantly try to get me to leave and distract him. He also told me that I shouldn't bother to even continue dating my BF, since, in his words, I know him better than you do, and you're not the kind of girl for him. After a month or so, when it was clear I was here to stay, the friend changed his tune. He started being nice to me, but I always felt like he would do subtle things to get me to leave. My BF didn't notice this at all and said that it was probably me being a little jealous. I figured he was probably right and tried to not let it bother me. 2 days ago, however, I got a text from a mutual friend of all 3 of us that the friend gave my BF a blowjob the previous night. I thought it was a joke, so I showed it to my BF, and he broke down and admitted that he cheated on me. Apparently all they did was make out for a while and gave each blowjobs. He swore to me that he was really drunk and barely remembered it. He was confused as to why it even happened and promised that it wasn't a big deal and would never ever happen again. He said he loved me. I haven't spoken with him since then, because I've been so mad. I hate cheaters and want to dump him, but I feel like it's a weird situation. Part of me feels like his son of a bitch friend seduced him on purpose to drive him away from. That just may be the crazy jealous bitch in me, however. Part of me also isn't as mad about it, because he cheated on me with another guy, which somehow stings less than being cheated on with a girl. I also am torn because this is one of the best relationships I've ever been in, and I don't want to lose him. He's the most fantastic guy ever, at least I thought he was. What do you think, Reddit? What would you do? My friends told me to tell him, it's either me or your friend, pick one, but I feel that's such a bitchy move and I could never do that to him.